for insecurity. So the meaner is, the more insecure they are. So we are meaner because we like ourselves less.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's starting younger.
Yeah.
It is starting younger. I mean, when I look at how my little girl and her friends interact, it is absolutely amazing, and the dynamic.
Really,
That is
at
at 4 years old, the competing over the attention for the little boy, all that kind of stuff. It's crazy. It's deep. I'm telling you, it's heavy, heavy, heavy. And what they do to one another in order to toss the other one to the curb,
Really?
you know? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. How did you handle meanness? We really were always, comforted by each other, and we've been really blessed to have such a wonderful sister. And, when in doubt, I tell my older sister.
Yeah. Take care of it. Venus and Serena made a great point in their book, which was, listen, so what?
So what? I love
Okay,
that.
if they can't get with you, then keep it moving. You need to be around people who see what makes you special and unique. And if they don't see you as special and unique, well then, hit it. Hit it.
Now, you also say that these girls have a hunger to be accepted by mean girls.
Absolutely. And you know why we do that? Because what we do is we find who we think has power. And so if the mean girls seem to be the ones that have the power, I think if I'm with a mean girl, maybe some of their power will rub off on me. Not knowing that actually what would rub off on me is insecurity.
Right.
And so a lot of times we seek the very person and power who is oppressing us, who is harming us, thinking that maybe if I join it, I can be powerful. What I'm saying is that's not how you get power.
But it's always about the same thing. It's a hunger to fill self.
Yes.
It's a hunger to fill yourself.
And to feel loved and lovable and worthy.
And it seems like I found that it never really goes away. There's always residue of that. So that's why it's so important that we get to know who we really are and get comfortable with who we really are. Because through our life, we were going to have to grab tools that help us deal with those inevitable insecurities that come in life just naturally.
Yeah. Coming up, she carves a pencil in her arms and with the struggles that they face. One of those struggles they've never talked about before until now. They carve your initials in your arm.
Yeah.
And you were saying that then numbed
My emotional pain.
your emotional pain. How so?
Because it actually took all my attention away from what I was mad at, when I was overwhelmed, and it got my mind away from it. So I would have to figure out why am I this angry? What can I do to help myself?
Because you now are in physical pain.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well, it didn't hurt that much, but it really did.
Really?
Yeah.
Explain this to me.
But you did a great job of really talking about what it's about, that it's a distraction. It's two things. It's a mirror. It lets somebody know how bad I feel inside. So I often try and create an outward expression of my inward misery. That's number one. So it's a mirror. The other piece is what you said. It's also a distraction. Because I don't know what to do with my self-hatred. I don't know what to do with that my parents aren't doing what they need to do, or that I'm being left out at school. So if I distract myself from it, hurting myself physically, being hit by a boy, all of a sudden the drama is where I spend my time. It's what I start thinking about. Because I don't know what to do with all these other issues where I feel helpless.
And so this is the same as eating for emotional reasons, and it's the same as sex for emotional reasons.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
It is. And Oprah, the issue about anger also is that anger is usually a cover-up for an emotion we don't know what to do with, which is usually pain. So I get angry either toward myself or I lash out at someone else. The issue here is the anger really requires me to say, you know what, I need to figure out not what I'm angry about, but what I'm aching about. What I'm aching about, what's hurting me on the inside, because it's easy to be angry. It's easy to be angry. This society rewards us. Anger is power. It doesn't teach us how to be sad.
And that's the thing. It's the vulnerability of being sad and not allowing ourselves to feel that sadness. You know, to be able to cry in public, to be able to say I'm hurt, to be able to say, why would you treat me like this, or what have you. It's almost as if, even as women, we're just not allowed to do it.
To express that.
Express that.
Yeah.
So that it manifests itself in many different ways.
We'll be right back. New book. It's great for teenage girls. It's called Serving from the Hip. A guide for teen girls. If you're a mom, you should get that for your teen girls. And Jada also has a new book. It's for itty-bitty girls. It's called Girls Hold Up This World. Jasmine has a question about peer pressure. Is that true, Jasmine?
My question is, like, how can I go to a party with drinking and smoking and not be, you know, tempted to smoke or drink? You know, you see your friends, your peers smoking and drinking, and you don't want to feel left out.
I go places and you smell the marijuana, and when I get to the door, no, because it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not necessarily just smoking. I mean, like, my friends have keg parties, and, you know, and we go to parties, and it's not always weed and stuff there, but...
But should you be in the situation, you think? So you just looked out of the corner and how you're like, you have to think about it, no. And there's always, to me, I ask myself, should I be here? No. And if a doubt comes in your mind, you should already know that that's not something that you want to do.
When you go, it's like, well, oh, Jeff, you're not going to drink, you're not going to drink, and I was like, well, maybe I'll get a beer or something. And I'm like, well, here, have a Smirnoff from there. Like, I don't want them to think I'm prude or I'm, like,
They can think what they want.
You think I'm better than them.
They think what they want.
Oh, I love this. I don't want them to think that I think that I'm better than them.
Right. Why not be
Because I'm
better?
not drinking or...
But see, I think it's a great question when you said, how do I not have temptation? I want to tell you, we all have temptation, and that's what you're saying. We all have temptation. Your real question is, how can I still have relationships with people and still be true to myself? That's what you're really asking. How can I do that? Isn't that what you're asking? And it's a great question. One of the things that would be really good for you to do is, you know that we can be very cool. If we go to those parties, we don't drink, but we also don't judge the people who are. If you decide these are your friends, you're at this party, and you're still cool to say, you know what, I'm not doing that, but you're not saying that they should. You can dance, you can hang out, you can laugh, you can have a good time. It's not as if you need to kind of check out. And I think that's the fear, that we're saying, well, go home, be alone. Well, that's not realistic, but you can go there.
Yeah, it's kind of like you do go there. It's like, you know, well, Jasmine, we're not going to invite her to a party, or she's not going to come to this party because she doesn't do this, or she doesn't drink with us. So they it's kind of like they turn their back on you or whatever.
Has that happened to you? Have you given it have you given it a chance?
I mean, I have, yeah. Like, I've been like, well, no, I'm not going to drink tonight. My mom will freak out. She'll,
Right.
you know. So if I come home smelling like alcohol.
And what happens? And your friends do what? They say, well, we're not going to...
Whatever, Jasmine, whatever. You can go home now. If you want to go home now, I'll take you home
Well,
now.
one of the other issues, we have to talk about who we're around. Okay? Right. Those people who are saying, we'll take you home now, those are not real friends.
They're not really people that you want to associate with.
Yes, she does.